Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. This time to celebrate the 10,000 subscriber milestone, I'm going to be showing off my Digimon, Tamagotchi and Virtual Pet collection, sort of like how I did with the milestone for the 1,000 subscribers, so I'm just going to be doing an updated video for the 10,000 subscriber milestone. So we'll also be showing off the recording setup a little bit. So first up here is my absolutely massive green screen, and there's the GoPro with my tiny light box there, and of course my computer, and I need to clean my desk. I'm doing their house cleaning tomorrow, so I'll be doing that as part of that. I've got my vital bracelet on the desk here, and then I have obviously my computer itself there, and my MacBook, which I don't use for the podcast or anything anymore. I used to record using it, but not anymore. And then we have my larger light box here, which I do a lot of the virtual pet videos and the unboxings and the card game videos in this. And I have my microphone set up with my teeny tiny cord hanging, Palmon hanging off. I've got my decom, my phone that I use when I'm using my decom on videos, scissors for unboxing and for scaring people when I do card game unboxings, when I snip through the booster packs. The stand that I've used before for a few videos, screwdriver, boring stuff. And then I have some Japanese books, Nendoroids, and basically more or less non-Digimon related stuff in these shelves, except for this one, which has the NX Edge figures on, and that's basically all the Digimon that's there in this, the Nutella, Mimi and Palmon glass, which I can't use anymore because it has a chip in it, but it is very cute. It was in Australia and New Zealand, I believe, with the Nutella promotion for Digimon in the, I think, early 2000s. And then we move to the top here. We've got the Adventure Colon figures, Shoto figures, as well as the Evolving Spirits figures at the top here. And then we have Ulforce Veedramon's gem figure. And then the two Omegamon amplified figures there, and my car keys hanging out over there, which also have Palmon on it. And then before we move on to the actual Digimon collection, which I'm doing the smaller stuff first, I have my original Black Wall Greymon Evolving Spirits figure. Before it was Evolving Spirits, they were just transforming figures. I've got my colored Tamagotchis and also the Tamagos, the Tamatowns, which have the Tamatown attachments as well. And then I have the non-massive Tamagotchis, excluding the King Tamagotchis at the back, and also the Nanos and the collaboration Tamagotchis hanging out here, as well as some of the cases here, as well as the 20th anniversary ones. And these two I'm running at the moment, the Twisted Chi and the Hashira Gathering Demon Slayer Tamagotchi Nano. Then I have like the random electronic pets, so I have things like the beloved Dinky Dino and the behated Nikocha. So that's those two there, Dinky Dino and Thing of Satan, Nikocha. And I've got the McDonald's Sonic games, Sonic and Sega games rather. The Star Wars Gigapet, Gyalpy. Some things that I really haven't played with yet, but I really want to, like the Gyalpy I really want to give a go. With the Gigapets I really want to give a go. The Bunny ROM V-Pet sort of there I also want to give a go. I don't know why, I just have a fascination with Bunny ROM. And for those not aware of Bunny ROM, it's the one that has like, it's the bootleg virtual pets that have like a bunny on it, and they've got like, they're like 184 in one or something. Then I have the Autozim, which I also want to play with. Human Player, something else that I haven't gotten a chance to play around with. The Golden Compass Virtual Pet, which I can't remember where I got it, but I got it at some point. Your Kaiser, Bit Critters, the Yuki, I think it's called Yuki Penguin. It's like the penguin version of the Dinky Dino. The Treasure Ghosts, the Yokaiser, the Mega Man PET. And then we have the Demon Spawn down the bottom. We have the Vmon Alarm Clock, which I did one of my very first videos on. The Techno, some Furbies, Then like Scan Masters, which I bought with the idea of doing a video on them because there wasn't much information on, but I haven't gotten around to playing around with them yet, but maybe one day. Oh, and also the Dragon Quest pedometer, which I haven't played with that one either. And then I've got some Gunpla here, my model kits, which I'm sort of working through them at the moment. I'm stuck on the Full Metal Panic one, the Arm Slave, but I want to get around to doing them at some point. I've got more of those figures here, the Gachapon ones, the Capsule series. And I've got my Palmon plant collection there with Wormmon hanging out. And I was able to get my Patamon and Agumon beanie plush toys out of storage that I mentioned in a video I released about a week ago. And all my blue ones here, which is like Vmon and Sobble and Totodile hanging out there. And Poplio. And then I've got some Agumon at the back there, the Mimi hat, Gengar, not Digimon related things. And then over here, I've got my giant Palmon and giant Patamon that I've had for like 20 years. The Lilymon and Mimi gem figure. A bunch of other figures here too. Some Airdramon, of course. And then just like miscellaneous DVDs and games. I don't have many DVDs anymore, but I have some Studio Ghibli ones, because I do like Studio Ghibli, even though they're all available to stream. And now we can get to the main part of the collection, which is the Digimon stuff. So I have the board games here at the top. So I've got the one that's the Digital Monster ones, which we do have a video on the channel for, which is what you are meant to play with the minifigures. And then we've got the Ultimate Adventure board game, which is another thing that we've played on this channel before, very early on, about 5 years ago, I think. Some jigsaw puzzles. The Karatch, I think it was called, the Character Watch set. The Doma's figures. The Odaiba train, the trolley car with the plush toys in. More plush toys. And now we can get to the virtual pets and Digivices. So in the first part of the shelf, we've got the original Digimon, as well as the Digimon Pendulums and the Digimon Pendulum Cycles. We've also got a bunch of the guidebooks that were released in V-Jump for different versions of the original Digimon. We've got like the version 4, version 3, version 2, version 1, the Becoming a Digimon King book, which was for the version 1, and I'm just throwing my Digivices around. I've got my version 2.5 here, and what I'm pretty sure is a bootleg Digimon Digivice version 2, which I got in Singapore like 2 decades ago. But the 2.5 is real. I'm probably going to put that on the level here, because it's actually real, and that one's kind of falling apart. When I first was playing with it, I finally got to the Digimon to evolve to Mega, and I was so excited, I was shaking it around because I was really excited, and it kind of like, I dropped it, and it just never worked again. So it's kind of just there as a memento, because it was one of my first ones. So I have the Digimon Battlers with the Digimon Analyzer behind it, Hikari's Digivice. I've got my D3 version 1, 2, and 3, as well as the American D-Terminal and the Japanese D-Terminal. There's also a Ken Digivice from the English release at the back. I've got my Japanese Digivice D3 version 2. I only have the version 2 of the Japanese original Digivice and the version 15th. And now I've got some minifigures here, which are not... I think my partner likes to go around and slightly move my figures to see how long it would take me to realise that they've moved, and he just moved Meramon slightly to the side. But I caught on. I wonder how long ago he changed that. He probably changed that a long time ago. There we go. Seadramon likes to fall over though, so it could have also just been Seadramon fell. Anyway, so these are sort of organised from each version of the pendulum. So we've got the version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0. And then I've got my extra D-emojis at the back, the D1 version 4, my extra version 1, and my actually working version 3, not the cursed one, which I have at the back. I also have some of the pewter figures here, and the cages that some minifigures come in, and the plastic containers that house the pewter figures. I also have my fan club edition Digimon version 1, which I've done a video on before, and more guidebooks. So before we move to another shelf, I've got all my DMOGs here, 1, 2, and 3 at the back, 4, 5, and 6 at the front. Then the Pendulum Cycles, version 7, 8 at the back, and then 9 and 10 at the front, but it's actually 10 and 9, and I'm just realizing that now when I put them away. I put 9 and then 10. Oh well. Then I've got the Pendulum Point Zeros, so I've got the 1, 2, and 3 in the back, the 4, 5, and 0 at the front, and then likewise in this box we've got, which we can't really see because it's a reflection, we've got the 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 in the back, and the 4.5 and 5.5 in the front. Then in the next part of the shelf, we've got the Digimon Pendulum Guidebook, the D3 version 1, which is the VMon version guidebook, and the 3 Digimon Adventure novelizations, which I've been reading the translation on in the podcast. It's on hiatus at the moment because we've been covering Colon, but once we're done with Colon, I'll be doing the reading of that translation again. We've got one of the copies of Anno Tamer at the back there. We've got 2 Digivice 15ths, which is the other one is with the War Greymon Complete Memorial set one. We've got my D3 version 15th, and I've got each version of that. So I've got the Jogress one, the Pale Dramon Color one, I've got the Ken one, and the Daisuke one at the back. I've got this ancient Digimon wallet, which I got from the Royal Melbourne show in, like, I don't know, 2 decades ago probably. My Tag and Crest set, the Digimon Adventure 1999 to 2001 Blu-ray collection, and the Australian releases of Digimon Season 1 and Digimon Season 2. And of course, the gem figures. I used to collect every single gem figure, but it was getting kind of annoying, expensive, and I was running out of space. So the last one that I got was the sibling set, which I don't even have on display because I have a lot of stuff that's not on display that's kind of sitting in storage. A lot of plush toys, a lot of the gem figures, a lot of the figures in general, but I only kind of chose to display my favorites, so it's kind of like a few from each season. The next part, we've got the Digivices and Virtual Pets that came out around the same time as Digimon Tamers and Digimon Frontier. So we've got one of each of the Japanese D-Arcs, and then I've got one of each version of the English release of the D-Power. So I've got the US one here, and then I've got the European and Asian version 1, I think just Asian version 2, and Asian version 3. And then I've got the 2 versions of the D-Spirits, which were kind of like the Digimon Analyzer D-Terminal for the Season 4, and the D-Gather, which is the same but for Season 3. Then I've got the version 1, 3, and 4 of the Detector, and the version 1 and 2 of the D-Scanner. Here we've got the version 1 and 2 at the back, and version 3 of the Pendulum Progress, and the version 1, 1.5, 2, and 3 of the Pendulum Cross, or Pendulum X. I think it's Pendulum X actually, so yeah, Pendulum X. Then, and I'm just realizing something's missing from this shelf, oopsies, it's the Tamers Blu-ray, which I'm watching at the moment. I did an unboxing a few weeks ago, so if you're interested to see what that looks like, watch that video. That usually sits there. But we've got the CD drama. So we've got the Australian releases for the DVDs of Season 3 and 4. We've got Gargomon, the Ruki and Renamon gem figure, Takado's card tin, some cards that came with the version 15th, D-Arcs, Dukemon Crimson Mode gem figure, the Impmon gem figure, which came with the large Beelzemon gem figure, but I have him in storage. He gets to stay though because he's small, and him as well as Terriermon and Lotmon are usually sitting on top of the Blu-ray, but since I'm watching that at the moment, it is not on my shelf. Then we have Takado and Gilmon on top of the version 15th D-Arcs, and we have the Leomon and Juri D-Arc gem figure, And then we have the Omegamon X one, which actually he lost his horn when I was moving. So now he doesn't have a horn. I would like to get a replacement, but I don't know what I'd use for a replacement. So he's kind of just like, he's without a horn at the moment. And I don't know for how long, but for a while. But there he is. And of course, he's with Togemon. Next up, we have the Digivices that kind of came out around the same time as Savers and Cross Wars. So we've got the minis and the cross minis hanging out there, and the twins which are hanging out there, as well as the cards to use with the IC toys, which are here. So we've got my American data link next to the Japanese one, which is a little bit thinner. The blue one is the Japanese IC and the orange one is the data link. Got my version 2 IC, my version burst IC, some IC chips there, my 2 Pendulum Neos, version 1 and 2, one of each version of Axel, so that's Justice, Evil, Nature, and Ultimate. The Axel chips hanging out underneath. The Bandai Asia Fusion Loader, the Japanese Cross Loader, the Bandai America Fusion Loader, which is very different. I've done a comparison on the 3 different Cross Loader variants. The Monotomon Catcher Toy, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called like Gambatte Monotomon or something. I've got the Digimon Next manga, the Digimon Cross Wars manga, which I have to read someday. Apparently it's just phenomenally great, which is great because I actually do like Cross Wars. Over to the next shelf, we've got Season 5 on DVD, the Australian release, and we've got the Digimon Animation Chronicle book that came out last year. It was like the reissue of it. I've got the movie Blu-ray collection as well as the CSA D3 Digivices, and you'd also, I don't think I talked about it, but I do have the 1999 one. It didn't come out in 1999, but it's called the 1999 Digivice CSA because it's based on the original series rather than these ones, which are based on try for these ones and then try for these ones and then Last Evolution. So anyway, we have the movie collection there, the We Love Digimon music album collection, the Cross Wars plug-and-play console, the Digimon Savers plug-and-play console, which I did a video on a few weeks ago, the Adventure Colon Digivice there, the Digimon Try stage play, which is probably the best. That's my absolute favourite part of Try, and it never came out officially in English, which is really sad because it was great. So I've got all of Try and Kizuna, both the Japanese release and the Australian release, for both, and Kizuna as well, Try and Kizuna. The memory shorts, the Last Evolution novelization, which I read, and it's bad, I don't like it, and the 3 volumes of Digimon Adventure Colon that have come out so far, and also the opening soundtrack. And also this, which it was given out at MadFest in Sydney last year, but I couldn't go to Sydney because I was moving that weekend, so I kind of just like tweeted at Madman and said, hey, can I have one of these without going to MadFest? And they were like, yeah, come down to our office. And I was like, okay. So that's how I got that. And of course, Sparrowmon, and also Cross Wars figures, because I really like Cross Wars figures. And Sparrowmon, because she's my favourite. Then the next shelf is Appmon stuff. So I used to have all of the figures, I still do have all of the figures, but the rest are hanging out in the shed. So I just kind of picked my favourites. So I've got the Appmon DVDs. I've got the character songs there and the 3DS game, the Appmon chip band, the Apply Drive Duo, and also the normal Apply Drive there. And I think the 7 code band is also hanging out somewhere behind there. Yep, there it is. I've got 3 folders of the chips, even though they're all the same folders, because it says version 1, but they only released 1. They discontinued the second version of the chip folders, but they have every single set of the chips there. Not every single chip, but basically from every set of chip I have. The Appmon card binder to collect the Appmon card games, which didn't really take off, which is kind of sad, but at least the 2021 did. I have the Appmon manga and the I think it was called the 7 code pad, I think it was called, from the show. Everyone should watch Appmon. Appmon is the best season of Digimon by far. Then we have the modern series of virtual pets. So I have the art books for the version 20th, the Pendulum 20th, and the version X. And I have the Pendulum Zs there. The version 20th in box, my Vital Bracelet box, which is empty, my custom version 20th, and my other custom version 20th, as well as the All-Force Gem Shikishi board, I think it's called. I have every single version of the version 20th in Japanese, every single version of the DMX in Japanese, and a handful of the versions of the DM20ths that came out in Australia. And also I will have the Australian DMX, which comes out August 6th, I think, and so it's still a month away, but they will also be there once that happens. Then I have some Digimon video games. So the one on the very end here, I did a blog post on about 4 years ago, and then the rest are like the PlayStation games and the DS games. And then, of course, basically all copies of Hack's Memory and Cyber Sleuth. The Memetan plush I did an unboxing video of a few weeks ago. And behind Taichi's head here, we have all the Digimon WonderSwan games hanging out. And the last bit are some more manga and the trading cards, which this shelf used to be all the manga and all the books, but I kind of had to redistribute them because I needed space for the Digimon card game stuff. So I've got the starter decks here, I've got a deck box here, I've got my Black Agumon and Black Gabumon gem figures. I've got my all my promos and alts in that one, the parallel cards, and I've got my English and Japanese cards here, which I'm not sure if people want me to pull those out and show. Maybe I'll do that in a different video because that will take some time. I've got most of them from the Japanese release. I think I'm only missing a few, it's like Lucemon and that's about it. And then of course we have the Hatsune Miku Nendoroid, which came out 2 months ago. That was like May. Yeah, wow. This year's gone fast already. And then I have just a few more binders of stuff here, mainly like the can badges I used to collect and the keychains, and clear files, and a bunch of I think it's in this one, it has like a bunch of promotional stuff in this one. Yeah, just stuff that came with the figures, and stuff that came with the CD here, and we've got a bunch of books that came with things. That came with the Takado's card tin. I've got iron-ons. So I've kind of got a few of those. I've got a lot of these promotional art things for Try, and the evolution chart, which came with the version 6 Digimon original. We've got some more art stuff that came with various releases of things. I've got the Chirashi from the Try movies, and also Kizuna. There we are. And I think I've got similar in those binders there. But I used to collect everything for Digimon, but then I kind of I was running out of room, so I decided not to. And then I have a couple of the Digimon soundtracks. And of course I have the Digimon movie one in my car, but, and I'm kind of wanting to collect 8 copies of that, so I can put that in each stack of CDs in my car. So it can just be every single CD in my car is just Digimon, but that's my goal anyway. I only have 1 copy though. So anyway, that's my collection at the moment. So thanks for 10,000 subscribers, and I hope this video was worth subscribing to my channel for. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so, because then that means I can create more of these update videos as I increase my collection, and eventually we'll have the DMXs when they come out next month. So that's exciting. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's about everything. I can't think of anything else. The other boxes in this are my clothes, which is not as exciting at all, so I will not show you that. And I also do have a picture of my dog, which is also very important. Lots of those popping around. But yeah, so thanks for watching this video. And of course, thanks for subscribing. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. I don't say it in every video, but I'm not sure if I should. But please, if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. And don't forget to like this video, which is something else I'm supposed to mention. And also comment, because, yeah, just comment what you think about this collection. Do you also have a big Digimon collection? Tell me about it. So yes, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!